my mom, I remember this one day, my entire family, we just started like getting really loud at the table, and my mom got up and left. And I still remember this story to this day. She said she felt like a failure as a mother. And so that night she got on her knees and she prayed to the Lord and she said, Lord, how can I teach my children to have humility and gratitude? All right, then the Lord told her, I want you to leave it all. That's the only way you can do it. So that's what we did. We left everything behind. We moved back to Hawaii, to the Big Island, and we just grabbed two suitcases. And for a year and a half, we lived in a tent and we lived off the land. So we were everything was taken away from us for that exact reason, to learn gratitude and humility. So during that time, we did live off the land. We got goats, we got chickens, we had a tent for all the siblings, and then one for my parents, and we just lived like that. We washed dishes with in the toes. We took showers with a water hose. Just very, very just on the grid. And during that time, I not only got closer to my family and I actually got to know them, but I also came close to my Hawaiian heritage and I also gained a relationship with God for the first time. It was there on my homeland in the island of Hawaii that I learned just how much God loves me and how special of a daughter of God I am. So, so special to the point where I figured out that I had the talent to write music. I remember this one day, it was a Sunday. My dad was like, you guys need to go do something. Like, go outside, go on a walk, look for bugs, because we were just being lazy. So he said, go outside, hang out with each other, write a song, just do something. And I didn't really think much of it because I was like, whatever. But my brother, my older brother, he took my dad's words very seriously. He's the oldest, so they give that like very responsible, obedient. Whereas I'm the second oldest, so like more rebel, very opposite spectrums. But yeah, so my brother heard the words, go write a song. And my brother and I have never written songs in our lives, ever. That was the first time my brother wrote a song. 2 hours later, my brother Emin comes back with a song that he wrote about how much the Lord has helped him in his life. I remember sitting on the couch that day and watching my brother play the ukulele and watching him sing, and something inside me just snapped in that moment. I can't even describe it, but I felt like it was like God telling me, like, this is what you're gonna do. And in that moment, I never felt so sure about anything in my life. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a singer. I'm literally gonna do that. I'm gonna change the world with songwriting. It was that moment. My brother inspired me to start this process of songwriting. So fast forward, right? We move back to the mainland, back to Utah, and then when I was 16 years old, I had the opportunity to compete in American Idol. And during that time, I got to share my talents as a songwriter as a 16-year-old, and I made it all the way to the top 24. And so after that, like my music career just really took off. I was able to be a blessing to so many people. When I reached the age of 19, for my religion, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So we do something called missions. We go out and we do service for about a year and a half, 2 years, just sharing about Christ and serving others. So I had the opportunity for a year and a half to go serve the people of Mexico in the state of Puebla and Veracruz. So I was very, very fortunate, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. During that time, I got to learn just how beautiful it is in Mexico, their culture, and I also got to learn the language. So I am fluent in Spanish now, and I just returned this past year. So I've gotten back into music, and I feel like my testimony in the Lord has grown even stronger. And so all these events in my life have taken me to this moment, being here with you, Victor. Like that's just a little bit of my story of how I came to be.
Wow, that is incredible. I did not know all of that. It's truly inspiring and incredible to see how far you have come. I want to touch on a little bit too, and if some of these questions are too hard, please let me know. But I want to
Yeah.
touch on a little bit when you talk about the hardship of in the very beginning when you guys were sleeping in a tent and how that transition was for you guys. Like when you were navigating that process because you're so young and so little, what do you think helped pulled you through? I know you talk a lot about your mom and faith. Like what do you think helped you navigate that process?
Yeah, so I do remember we had been living in that tent for about 2 months. And when I got there, I was 10 years old. So I actually just thought it was a vacation because we've gone to Hawaii, we visited a lot, and I used to live there. So I was like, oh, this is fun. But as the days went on and the days got longer and the same routine every day and going back to the tent every night, I was like, oh my goodness, is this never gonna end? And I ended up getting I was very mad when we actually first got there because I'm like, this is horrible. Like you literally just took me away from everything. I had everything. I had a private school with renowned teachers to get me into a guaranteed university. I was classically trained with a doctor that had her PhD and as a piano concertist. I was put in sports. I was supposed to be like a D1 athlete and I was put in clubs for soccer. Like I had everything I could ever want. And yet, being there, feeling like I had nothing at all. I remember I was complaining to my dad one day. I'm like, I can't live like this. Like, we need to go back home. And I remember him looking at me and telling me, like, this is home. And you're never going to realize what you had until you lost it. And so that was the first time in my life where I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, true. And then he said, if you can't be grateful with what you have, you'll never be grateful for anything else in your life and you'll never be happy. That was the moment I realized how spoiled of a child I was and how much gratitude and humility I lacked. Because I had the world at my hands. I could get anything I want. My parents let me have anything I want, right? And the second they took it away, I just realized how prideful and stuck up I really was. And so I remember just getting on my knees that day. It was very, very humbling because I wanted so bad to get out of that situation. I was like, I need to get out of here. I can't live in this tent. I can't keep washing dishes in totes and taking showers with the water hose. It's humiliating. But my dad says humility builds character. And so I remember just getting on my knees that night and saying a prayer. I'm like, okay, I now understand why I'm here. Like, this makes sense now. There's so much that I have to learn, and I wouldn't have been able to learn it if I kept living that same life. So that was the day that opened up my eyes and helped me to navigate through the hardships, to realize that this was for my benefit. It wasn't a punishment, it was a blessing. So once I changed my perspective on that, my life changed for the better.